Hello, dear friends. This is a bit of a moment. This video for Rosie and I, we're going to be sharing with you. As many of you know, that the Dream Arc has been this sort of incredible, beloved part of the Gene Keys landscape, and it's this wild, creative, symbolic, feminine expression of the journey of the Gene Keys, and it's gone off in its own completely wild direction. And over the past few years, especially, DreamArc has touched many, many lives, thousands of people, and also invited people into like incredible, wild, non-linear journeys and into synchronistic ways of engaging with transformational processes. Through animals and archetypes and dreams and deepening our intuition and reverence for all things in the world. And it's so needed right now, this kind of a teaching. And like lots of small kind of mission driven organizations and communities, we're moving through these huge times of change. We've had to make some big pivots in our business, and we've had to choose where to focus our time and our resources and our energy. And we've done a lot of reflection on lots of different parts of the Gene Keys, and we've come kind of clear that we need to pause developing the Dream Arc at the moment, and because we're moving into like a very exciting time with lots of new offerings and things. It's almost like a big last gulp from me, Richard, and our team as we're kind of launching lots of big offerings that are coming. The Code on Ring course, which I'm working on, the Gaia TV show that's coming out in the end of this year. We're developing the codes of chemistry and a new Gene Keys app, and lots of working on translations and new subscription services and integral human design. There's a lot going on, and all of these developments are kind of part of our long-term mission to awaken humanity's highest potential through these teachings. And it's part of like building and finishing our cathedral of teachings. And so the Dream Arc is going to, of course, remain one of our most treasured self-study courses. And Matthew Ashdown, who many of you will know, is going to continue hosting Dream Pod calls, and together with our creative team, going to keep the Dream Arc's amazing Gazelle newsletter going. And our wonderful guides and hosts are going to keep the field alive, and I'll be dropping in from time to time as well. And so while we're not actively growing the Dream Arc at the moment, it's going to continue to organically evolve in its own way, and we'll keep nurturing it within our greater frame. So I wanted to also acknowledge here the beautiful Dream Arc Oracle box set that we've been looking forward to, many of us, and it's going to come in divine timing. It's been a long journey with the project, and I know that some delays like that can be frustrating for many of us, but we just trust that it's going to come when it comes, and that it's going to bring new life into the Dream Arc when it does, and bring hopefully new audiences into the transmission of the Gene Keys as well. So as part of this evolution, our beloved Rosie has made her own kind of deep, heartfelt decision to step out of her formal role within the Gene Keys business, and she's going to be carrying the next phase of her work independently through a deeply inspired new initiative called the Universal Love Curriculum. Some of you may have already heard about. So rather than me say about it, I'll let Rosie share a bit more in her own words about this change and where it's heading and where she's heading. Nice to have you here, Rosie.
Well, thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. And, honestly, if you or anyone had asked me a month or two ago whether I would ever be sharing this kind of a message, even in this lifetime, I would have laughed or looked at you like it with a very puzzled expression, like, what are you talking about? But life, in its very trickstery way, can bring us to thresholds that we don't always see coming. And this is absolutely one of those thresholds. So, as most of you know, over the years, the Dream Arc has just been, so much more than a project or a job for me. It's been a true calling, and it's been a labor of love. It's been a village, a movement, a path of radical transformation, and it's been my family at a time when I've really needed one. And it's been all of that just rolled up into one. And most importantly, it's become like this living, breathing example of what's possible when so many people come together from all over the world and pour their boundless love and creativity and imagination into this incredible collective alchemical vessel. And the Dream Arc has been a deeply co-creative experiment from the start, with so many of you helping to midwife it into its current, still evolving form. And I just want to say I will always hold so much affection and gratitude for you, Richard. I kept telling myself I don't want to cry during this, but I might. That's okay. Who has been our Dream Arc sage and such a dear friend. And for Sally, the Dream Arc's first voyager, and Elijah, our brilliant wizard, who together were the original Dream Arc co-creative partners. Our time together and the friendships that we built over those years are something that I will always treasure. And then, of course, for quite some time now, I've had the incredible joy of co-creating and co-hosting with Matthew, the Dream Arc's Green Knight, whose wisdom and creativity just like astound me and make me smile on a daily basis. And I could not have asked for a more devoted or inspiring, collaborative, or kind partner. And to the entire Gene Keys team, I just want to say thank you. I would name each and every one of you if I could. But thank you for your vision and your inspiration, your incredible talent, and your steadfast belief in the Dream Arc's potential. And to Tanmayo and all the guides and the hosts and community members, thank you for embodying this transmission with such enthusiasm and brilliance and depth and humor. You are the living expression of its magic, and you've made and will continue to make the Dream Arc all worth it. It has been a true honor and wonder for me to just witness how many ways the Dream Arc has touched people's lives, even though it's still a baby or maybe like a toddler now in relation to the Golden Path. And for me, its deeper value has always lived in the community that it's fostered and featured, and in the increasingly liberated souls that it's activated. And I really just want to take this moment to acknowledge the Dream Arc for bringing new people into the Gene Keys, for deepening and enriching the journey for so many, and for expanding the transmission in these wild, intuitive, inclusive, culturally diverse, experiential, colorful, relational, and like Richard said, deeply feminine ways. The Dream Arc has really woven in the voices of elders, of wisdom keepers, of artists and musicians and poets and educators and healers from all around the world. And it's done so with like this spirit of playfulness and generosity. Another thing I really love about the Dream Arc is how it's managed to bring joy and even fun to transformative shadow work, right? Encouraging people to develop an adventurous relationship with the underworld creatures, as well as giving people the opportunity to follow and trust synchronicities of their lives in addition to sequences. So in my next chapter, it will be the spirit of village building and embodied creativity that I will be carrying forward. And that's really one of the Dream Arc legacies that I'm most proud of. And it's what gives me the courage to continue exploring new edges of where this work wants to evolve next, really to honor the emergent living entity that the Dream Arc is. And as Richard said, one of my deepest intentions is to grow this universal love curriculum, which is fast becoming the next great love of my creative life. And it's all about initiating a global wave of empowered creativity by guiding youth into the natural wisdom within, and to do so with others in the true spirit of synergy and synarchy and syntropy. So, Richard, I'm going to quote you now from the Freedom Prophecy because nobody ever says it like you do. Here it is. In order to change the direction of a civilization, you have only to change the education of the children of that civilization. So thank you, Richard, for the poetic clarity that you continually bring us. And for those of you who don't know so much about the curriculum, I could just say that together with my fabulous core team, Rose and Chris and Marilee, my sister, Matthew and Samson Turanawe, and our growing international network of wisdom carriers and educational partners, we're going to be infusing the essence of the Gene Keys and the Dream Arc into inspiring, flexible educational tools that support children, youth, and intergenerational communities all over the world. And I know that we're going to be realizing a dream that so many Gene Keys enthusiasts have been holding in their hearts for years. And I've been in this community for 17 years now. So I know that this is a dream that many of us have carried. So I'm just thrilled and honored to be moving forward with it. And I'm so grateful for the blessing and the continued generous support of the Gene Keys Company. And I also want to share a bit about some of the other creative gardens I'll be tending in the time ahead. For example, I'll be taking time to breathe new energy into the Wisdom Keepers Oracle deck and provide these compassionate beings with the loving stewardship that they deserve so they can just kind of go out into the world and have even more of a compassionate ripple effect. And actually, Matthew and I are planning a trip to British Columbia in September. Well, he's there. I'm going to be taking a trip there in September where we're going to celebrate and share the Wisdom Keepers in some fun and intimate ways with our Canadian friends. So keep an eye out for that. Over these past few years, I've been greatly inspired by my friendship with Starbird Miracle and feeling increasingly called to explore this transmission through sound and frequencies and song, which is feeling like real medicine for me, especially now at this time of potent change. And Richard already mentioned the DreamArc Oracle Publishing Project, which so many of you ask me about on a daily basis. So all I can do is say thank you for your patience and promise you that when it's finally birthed into the world, I will be right there by your side celebrating. I truly believe that this project has the potential, not just to bring more people to the Dream Arc, but to serve as a playful and beautiful bridge, universal bridge to the wider Gene Keys transmission. I really do. So while my heart is both beating and breaking, this is not a goodbye. It's just a transmutation, which is my life's work. And for your Star Pearl fans, both Richard and my creativity sphere. So I will still be here occasionally as a guest, always in spirit as a deeply embodied and devoted vessel for this transmission, and forever grateful to each and every one of you who have just dedicated your time and your energy and your love into making the Dream Arc community what it is today. None of us would be here without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Rosie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think that what you're really going to do is some transfiguration. That we're going to witness you transfigure your life and everything that you're involved with onto a whole new level. And your incredible bravery is an inspiration to so many people I know, especially right now when many of us are being called to kind of make leaps. And we know that from the Dream Arc, these leapers, the flea and the kangaroo and all these creatures that kind of that represent these quantum leaps. And I really honor you for kind of following your truth. And you've been like an amazing ally and friend to me. And the Dream Arc that we've co-created with our team together has been just such a joy in my life, and I know it will continue to be. Every time I get in there and I kind of get involved with it, I feel the mischievous part of me playful part of me come alive. It's so good for me. I know that, and any of us. So yeah, I really want to wish you well on the next steps of your journey. And I'm really excited that you're going into all those, those sound areas, and you're putting energy back into the Wisdom Keepers and things like that you wouldn't have been able to do so easily, And so it's just, it's going to be amazing, I think. And I know that we're going to be involved with our continuing parallel missions in the world. And I hope that my support for ULC is absolute, and that curriculum, nothing would make me and the Gene Keys team happier to see it like thriving and growing. And so we're going to keep on like in touch and supporting each other, and it's so deeply entwined with these teachings, and these paths, our paths are going to dance around each other, but just in a new way. And it's been such an honor and a privilege working with you over these past years. And we've had a really amazing ride, and so many successes and challenges, and so many laughs and smiles and some tears as well, and some frustrations at times. And, you know, you are just an awesome woman. You really are. And a sister to me, a deep soul sister. So I think you know how much love and respect I have for you. And I want to say on behalf of all Team 64 at the Gene Keys and our whole DreamArc community and the whole Gene Keys community, everyone whose hearts you've touched all over the world, I'm just really thanking you for the incredible devotion that you've brought to this role, these teachings, this global community, and just for really honestly living your own truth at every step of the way. You know, we love you so deeply, and we're just rooting for you 100%. So I know that it's going to be exciting seeing what comes next. Yeah, blessings.
Blessings. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everyone.